Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a simple kid's story that, trust me, holds a really powerful lesson for all of us about getting ready for things versus putting them off. It's a classic tale, really, about two totally different ways of handling a single inevitable problem.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story takes place in a jungle on one single tree. And this tree is home to our two main characters, a couple of parrots named T2 and Me2. Now, even though they share the same branch, so to speak, their approaches to life, well, they couldn't be more different.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly, right? This is the core conflict. On one side, you've got Titu, who's described as wise and hardworking, or samajdar aur karamat, as you see here in Hindi. And on the other side, Mittu, who is bilkul hi alsi, which basically means completely and utterly lazy. You get the picture. One parrot is all about diligence, while the other, he just loves to put things off.
So let's zoom in on T2 first. You can pretty much think of him as the ultimate planner, the guy who sees what's coming down the road and actually gets to work.
The real key to Titu is his mindset. He's proactive, not reactive. He's diligent, he puts in the work consistently. And most importantly, he's aware of the future, and he's all about taking action. See, Titu gets that the future doesn't just wait around for you to be ready. He saw a challenge on the horizon, and he decided to do something about it.
And his actions totally back this up. The story paints this picture of him with his beak literally full of grass, hard at work fixing up and strengthening his nest. It's a simple thing, really, but it's absolutely crucial. He's preparing his home for what he knows is coming.
Okay, so that's T2. Now let's hop over to his neighbor, Mithu. And here we're going to see a completely different, and maybe a little more familiar, picture start to form.
So, while Titu's over there working his tail off, what's Mithu up to?
Yep, he's sleeping, peacefully, on a branch. His whole philosophy is about immediate comfort, right now. He's totally ignoring what's coming just so he can enjoy this one lazy moment.
And his entire outlook on life is pretty much summed up in this one little phrase, Abhi mujhe aaram karne do, which just means, let me rest now. For him, work can always wait. Comfort is king. But what's really fascinating is how he justifies this, which we see on the very next slide.
Just listen to this. Yeah, I'll do it. What's the hurry? There's still plenty of time before the rains. I'll see when it comes. I mean, come on, this is the classic internal monologue of procrastination, isn't it? It's that little voice that tells you the deadline is miles away, so hey, why worry about it now?
And this, of course, brings us to the big test in the story, the approaching rainy season. In this fable, the storm isn't just about the weather. It's really a metaphor for any unavoidable deadline or challenge that we all have to face at some point. Now, T2 doesn't just work in his own little bubble, he actually tries to warn his friend. He asks him a really direct, practical question, which translates to, the rainy season is coming. How will you escape the water? And in a way, he's not just asking me to. He's asking anyone, all of us, who might not be prepared for what's next in our own lives.
So here it is. This is the crucial point. Look at the huge difference in how they respond to the exact same piece of information. One of them hears the warning and gets to work, preparing his nest. The other one hears the exact same warning and just says, I'll see when it comes. It's action versus inaction. Foresight versus, folly.
Now, the story doesn't actually need to show us the storm hitting. We can all guess what happens to Me2 and his unprepared nest, right? The outcome is pretty much inevitable. The real value here isn't watching the disaster unfold, but in learning the lesson before it's too late.
In fact, we can pretty much boil Titu's wisdom down into a super clear, three-step process for facing any challenge, any rainy season in our own lives. Step 1. Identify the storm. You got to recognize the challenges on the horizon. Step 2. Prepare proactively. Start taking those small, consistent actions before it turns into a 5-alarm fire. And Step 3. Stay safe. You get to enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're ready. And that really brings us to the final and I think the most important question. This isn't just a story about two birds. It's a mirror. So you have to ask yourself, what is the rainy season in your life? Is it a big project deadline? A financial goal you keep putting off? A personal challenge? The lesson from Titu is crystal clear. The best time to start preparing your nest was yesterday, but the next best time, it's right now.